Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Light4j tutorial by Coding Muscles. Congratulations on being here. You're probably here because you have stepped up in your career and where you're learning about Light4j because you're in a banking or a e-commerce industry where you're handling a lot of transactions per second. So, congratulations on being here. So, without further ado, let's start looking into what is Light4j. So Lite4j is a lightweight, lightning fast, low latency, high throughput framework that is based on Java, which is used to create production grade RESTful services. The combination of these four features give us lower cost, which means we get higher profits. And the Lite4j framework is made by a company called NetworkNT. So the big question is, how is it when compared to the likes of Springboot, which have been an industry favorite for the better half of the last decade or two? Means why do we need another framework such as Lite4j? So the advantages of Lite4j are that just one single Lite4j instance can compete with hundreds of Spring Boot instances when it comes to providing the same amount of throughput and latency. Also, Spring Boot uses 5 times the memory of a single Lite4j instance. And Lite4j has concepts such as handlers, which makes it very easy for developers to only focus on the business logic, and they take care of all the cross-cutting concerns such as data validation, payload validation, authorization and authentication, schema validation, and lots more. So handlers make the life of developers really easy as they only have to focus on the business code. So in this tutorial, we are gonna have 5 chapters. Currently, you are on chapter 0, which is just an introduction to Lite4j. Next would be chapter 1, which would have background information and the need for Lite4j. Then we'll go to chapter 2, where we will be using a code gen tool which is provided by NetworkNT to create a Lite4j project. In chapter 3, we will create our first get service and also look at some configuration files such as handler.yaml. In chapter 4, we will create all the CRUD services, that is create, read, update, and delete, for which we will be using the four most common HTTP methods that are get, post, put, and delete. And finally, in chapter 5, we will launch another Lite4j application. That means one Lite4j application will be running on port 8080 and another one on port 9090, and we'll find a way for them to communicate in between. In doing so, we will also learn about the various configurations that have to be changed in the configuration files for it to be possible to be launched into different ports and to communicate with each other. So some of the prerequisites for this tutorial are you should have your IntelliJ IDE set up, and your Java and Maven should also be set up in your local system, and Java and Maven path variable should also be set up. Knowledge on Java programming language will be really helpful, and also it will be good to have a good understanding of RESTful APIs and their working. It's also recommended to have a good solid understanding of Spring or Spring Boot framework, which will make your life very easy when you'll be learning about Lite4j. So that's the end of chapter 0. I'll see you in chapter 1. Thanks for watching Coding Muscles. See you.